Alright, so the gaming industry is entering one of its most exciting periods yet. With major studios preparing their biggest releases, fans have a lot to look forward to. In this video, we'll take a look at 29 of the biggest upcoming AAA games, covering the titles that are generating the most hype and have the potential to dominate the years ahead.
But I'd be lying.
Resident Evil Requiem is the next chilling chapter in Capcom's iconic horror saga, designed to push the series into a more psychological and story-driven direction while retaining the franchise's signature survival mechanics. The game introduces Grace Ashcroft, an FBI agent investigating her mother's mysterious death, believed to be tied to the legacy of Alyssa Ashcroft from Resident Evil Outbreak, creating a powerful emotional link to past storylines. Alongside Grace, players will once again step into the shoes of Leon S. Kennedy, now portrayed as a more mature and battle-hardened survivor, returning to Raccoon City in a narrative that promises to intertwine personal trauma with the city's haunting legacy. Requiem allows players to freely switch between third-person and first-person perspectives, offering flexibility in how they experience its tense atmosphere, while its setting, a mysterious hotel tied to Grace's investigation, adds layers of claustrophobic dread and environmental storytelling. Announced during Summer Game Fest 2025, the game has already generated immense anticipation, with fans eager to see how Capcom balances new protagonists, returning icons, and evolving gameplay systems in a title that celebrates the franchise's roots while charting bold new territory. Resident Evil Requiem will release worldwide on February 27, 2026 across Steam, Epic Games Store, Nintendo Switch 2, PlayStation, and Xbox Series X and S.
Elpis can finally be set free.
The team has settled on a person of interest, someone with ties to Umbrella. Victor Gideon.
Grace! Grace!
Victor purchased a building after Umbrella went under. I'll send you the address.
Welcome. Dr. Gideon has been expecting you.
You there, Leon?
Yeah. Hey, over here. FBI, what are you doing here?
Would you like to see what's hidden under the hood?
Don't do anything stupid.
Me? Never. I think I want a second opinion.
007 First Light is the highly anticipated return of James Bond to video games, crafted by IO Interactive in collaboration with Amazon MGM Studios as a standalone reimagining of Bond's origin story. Rather than adapting a film, the game introduces players to a young, rebellious Royal Navy air crewman whose life takes a dramatic turn when he is recruited into MI6, setting the stage for his transformation into the iconic secret agent. IO Interactive, best known for the acclaimed Hitman franchise, promises a narrative-driven action-adventure that blends cinematic storytelling with stealth espionage and high-octane combat, all while exploring Bond's early struggles with identity, loyalty, and the moral ambiguities of spycraft. The world of First Light is designed to be immersive and richly detailed, spanning international locations filled with intrigue, danger, and stylish flair, while gameplay emphasizes player choice, improvisation, and the tension of living on the edge of discovery. With its fresh take on Bond's mythology, AAA production values, and IOI's proven expertise in stealth action design, 007 First Light is positioned as both a bold reinvention and a celebration of the character's enduring legacy, and it will launch worldwide on March 27th, 2026 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch 2, and PC. Aion 2 is NCSoft's ambitious reimagining of its legendary MMORPG franchise, designed as the ultimate edition that both honors and evolves the original's identity. Set 2 centuries after the events of Aion, the game thrusts players into a vast world 36 times larger than before, filled with ruins, relics, and the eternal conflict between Elios and Asmodeans. 8 enhanced classes return with modernized combat styles offering fluid mechanics and tactical depth across expansive PvE content and dynamic PvP encounters. The developers have emphasized innovations such as instant dungeon teleportation to streamline progression, while maintaining competitive systems that preserve the thrill of factional warfare. Built on NCSoft's Purple platform, Aion 2 integrates seamlessly with community features, ensuring accessibility and connectivity for players across regions. The narrative promises to explore themes of destiny and rebirth, while gameplay showcases a balance of exploration, survival, and large-scale battles that define the MMORPG genre. With its scale, technical upgrades, and focus on player agency, Aion 2 is positioned as a landmark sequel, and it officially launched at midnight on November 19, 2025 in Korea and Taiwan, with global release planned for PC via NCSoft's platform Purple.
다시 열린다. 이제 당신이 날아오를 시간. 아이온 2 그랜드 오픈.
ArcheAge Chronicles is XL Games' ambitious reimagining of its iconic MMORPG universe, designed as a narrative-driven action RPG that bridges the past and future of the franchise. Set 50 years after the events of the original ArcheAge, the game thrusts players back into Aurora, a land once wild and dangerous, now stirring back to life with new settlements rising from ancient ruins. Unlike its predecessor, Chronicles is not a traditional MMORPG, but a hybrid experience that emphasizes fast-paced combat, cinematic storytelling, and player-driven exploration while retaining the expansive, persistent world that defined the series. Developed by XLGAMES, and published globally by Cacao Games, the project was originally introduced as ArcheAge 2 before being renamed to highlight its narrative focus. The developers promise a blend of rich lore, dynamic environments, and cooperative systems that honor the franchise's legacy while evolving it for modern audiences. With Unreal Engine 5 powering its visuals, the game showcases breathtaking landscapes, fluid mechanics, and immersive encounters that elevate both solo and multiplayer play. Positioned as both sequel and reinvention, ArcheAge Chronicles is set to captivate fans of fantasy worlds and sandbox freedom, and it will release worldwide in 2026 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC via Steam and Epic Games Store.
Perhaps you might become one.
Atomic Heart 2 is the highly anticipated continuation of Mundfish's dystopian action RPG, announced at Summer Game Fest 2025 as a bold evolution of the retro-futuristic Soviet-era world that captivated players in the original. While the first game confined its horrors to isolated research facilities, the sequel expands the scope to a global stage, promising a cosmic journey where humanity's fate intertwines with bizarre technologies and supernatural forces. The narrative teases the return of the iconic ballerina twins, who will first reappear in the final DLC for Atomic Heart before taking center stage in the sequel, alongside new characters and factions that deepen the alternate history mythos. Gameplay enhancements include dual-wielding weapons and glove abilities, richer RPG systems with skill upgrades, and expanded combat strategies that emphasize improvisation and player choice. Mundfish has emphasized that Atomic Heart 2 will retain the surreal charm and unsettling atmosphere of its predecessor while delivering more cinematic storytelling, larger environments, and a wider variety of encounters that blur the line between science fiction and horror. With its ambitious scope, technical innovation, and narrative depth, Atomic Heart 2 is positioned as a landmark sequel in the genre, and it will release in 2027 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. Black Myth Zhongqi is Game Science's newly announced action role-playing game, envisioned as a mythological epic that expands the studio's acclaimed Black Myth series into darker, more supernatural territory. Building on the global success of Black Myth Wukong, this title casts players as Zhongqi, the legendary demon hunter of Chinese folklore, tasked with confronting spirits, demons, and corrupted souls across richly detailed landscapes inspired by ancient Eastern myth. The narrative explores themes of duality, justice, and redemption, with Zhong Kui portrayed as both judge and executioner, embodying the struggle between humanity and the supernatural. Powered by Unreal Engine, the game promises cinematic storytelling, fluid combat systems, and intricate weapon and skill designs that emphasize tactical mastery and mythic spectacle. Early trailers showcase haunting environments, colossal boss battles, and a tone steeped in cultural authenticity, positioning the game as both a celebration of Chinese heritage and a cutting-edge AAA experience. With its ambitious scope, narrative depth, and game science's proven artistry, Black Myth Zhong Kui is set to captivate global audiences, and its release date is yet to be announced on PC and consoles. Chronicles Medieval is Raw Power Games' ambitious debut project announced at Summer Game Fest 2025, and it promises to deliver a sweeping medieval sandbox that fuses role-playing depth, real-time strategy, and cinematic storytelling into one cohesive experience. Set in the brutal yet beautiful European world of the 14th and 15th centuries, the game allows players to step into the role of a knight navigating a living, breathing realm where every decision, whether forging alliances, commanding armies, or engaging in visceral sword-based combat, shapes the course of history. Narrated by actor Tom Hardy, the game emphasizes immersion through dynamic AI systems that simulate politics, warfare, and survival, ensuring that no two campaigns unfold the same way. Trailers have showcased massive battles with thousands of soldiers clashing across sprawling landscapes, underscoring the scale and ambition of the project. Chronicles Medieval positions itself as both a sandbox for player-driven storytelling and a tactical action game that captures the grit and grandeur of medieval life. With its blend of RPG progression, strategic depth, and cinematic flair, it is set to redefine the medieval genre, and it will release worldwide in 2026 on PC and consoles.
Go write your own.
Chrono Odyssey is Chrono Studios' ambitious MMORPG, developed in partnership with Kakao Games, that promises to redefine the genre with its vast open world of Cetera and unique time-bending mechanics known as the Chronotector. Players will explore a handcrafted fantasy realm filled with ruins, relics, and dynamic environments, while engaging in both large-scale PvE encounters and competitive PvP battles that emphasize tactical mastery and progression. The game's narrative is designed to immerse players in a struggle against cosmic forces, with branching paths and evolving challenges that reward exploration and cooperation. Built on Unreal Engine 5, Chrono Odyssey showcases breathtaking visuals, seamless transitions, and fluid combat systems that rival the best in the industry. Early beta tests revealed deep crafting systems, action-oriented combat, and a complex character creator, though developers have delayed launch to refine controls and polish gameplay based on community feedback. With its blend of cinematic storytelling, player agency, and technical innovation, Chrono Odyssey is positioned as one of the most anticipated MMORPGs of the decade, and it will release worldwide in late 2026 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S.
The hands of fate. To save what remains of our broken worlds. You need only take my hand. Return to the past, where your journey.
Control Resonant is Remedy Entertainment's bold expansion of the Control universe, co-produced with Annapurna Pictures, and envisioned as a larger, more open-ended action-adventure RPG that welcomes both newcomers and longtime fans. Set in a paranaturally warped Manhattan, the game follows Dylan Faden, brother of Jesse Faden, as he is deployed by the Federal Bureau of Control during a reality-bending cosmic crisis. Armed with volatile new abilities and a shape-shifting melee weapon known as the Aberrant, Dylan must confront escalating supernatural threats while searching for his sister, weaving a narrative that explores family bonds, identity, and the consequences of wielding immense paranatural power. Remedy has emphasized that Resonant will build on the surreal architecture and impossible spaces that defined the original Control, while expanding into a more open world filled with dynamic encounters, cinematic storytelling, and player-driven exploration. The reveal trailer, premiered at the Game Awards 2025, showcased haunting imagery of Manhattan distorted by cosmic forces, hinting at a darker, more ambitious chapter in the saga. With its AAA production values, narrative depth, and Remedy's signature blend of mystery and action, Control Resonant is positioned as a landmark sequel, and it will release in 2026 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and Mac. Crimson Desert is Pearl Abyss's ambitious open-world action-adventure RPG, designed to immerse players in the brutal yet breathtaking continent of Pywell, where survival and loyalty are constantly tested. The narrative centers on Cliff, a weary mercenary burdened by the legacy of the Greymanes, a once proud band shattered by betrayal and war, who must rise again to reclaim honor and forge a new destiny. The game promises a blend of cinematic storytelling and freeform gameplay, allowing players to traverse vast landscapes, engage in visceral combat against both human foes and towering monsters, and uncover secrets hidden in Pywell's diverse regions. Pearl Abyss has emphasized dynamic systems that encourage improvisation, from loot collection and crafting to large-scale battles that highlight the tension between personal struggle and epic conflict. Trailers have showcased next-generation visuals powered by proprietary technology with sweeping vistas, intricate character detail, and fluid animations that elevate immersion to new heights. Crimson Desert is positioned as both a spiritual successor to Black Desert and a bold, standalone experience, offering players freedom, consequence, and spectacle in equal measure. With its narrative depth, technical innovation, and focus on Cliff's journey, Crimson Desert is set to redefine the RPG landscape, and it will release worldwide on March 19th, 2026 for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S.
You are, and let it guide your path. For at the end of it, you will find the answers you seek.
Divinity is a flagship RPG from Larian Studios revealed at the Game Awards 2025 as the studio's most ambitious project to date, marking a dramatic return to the legendary world of Rivellon. Building on the success of Baldur's Gate 3, Larian is channeling its mastery of cinematic storytelling and complex role-playing systems into a darker, more mythic vision where gods have fallen silent, Rivellon bleeds, and new powers rise to challenge the fragile balance of existence. The announcement trailer stunned audiences with its haunting imagery of sacrifice and transformation, showcasing a prisoner consumed by fire who erupts into a demonic force, symbolizing the game's themes of mortality, corruption, and rebirth. Unlike its predecessors, Divinity is designed to be accessible to newcomers while rewarding veterans with deeper continuity, offering expansive freedom of choice, branching narratives, and visceral combat that blends tactical precision with cinematic flair. Larian promises a world alive with consequence, where every decision shapes the fate of Rivellon, and where myth and horror intertwine to create a truly epic role-playing experience. With its bold vision, AAA production values, and narrative depth, Divinity is positioned as both a celebration of the studio's legacy and a daring leap forward, and it is slated for release in 2027 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. Fable is Playground Games' highly anticipated reboot of the legendary action role-playing franchise, marking the first new installment since Fable, The Journey in 2012. Set once again in the whimsical yet morally complex world of Albion, the game promises to blend the series' trademark humor, player choice, and fantastical storytelling with cutting-edge visuals powered by the Forza Tech engine. Players will embark on a journey where every decision shapes the world around them, balancing heroism and mischief in a land filled with mythical creatures, sprawling towns, and richly detailed landscapes. The reboot aims to modernize classic mechanics such as branching morality, dynamic NPC interactions, and open-world exploration, while introducing fresh systems that expand combat, customization, and narrative depth. With a team led by Ralph Fulton and writers including Anna McGill and Andrew Walsh, the project emphasizes cinematic storytelling and immersive design, ensuring both longtime fans and newcomers experience Albion in a way that feels both nostalgic and revolutionary. Positioned as a cornerstone of Xbox Game Studios' lineup, Fable is set to redefine fantasy RPGs for a new generation, and it will release in 2026 on Windows PC and Xbox Series X and S.
Terrifying. So, Yeah, I knew this girl once who made all the wrong choices.
Humphrey. She's back.
Fateskeeper is the upcoming first-person action RPG from Paraglacial, published by THQ Nordic, that invites players into a handcrafted fantasy world where the remnants of ancient cataclysms whisper through crumbling ruins and forgotten relics. Designed with Unreal Engine 5, the game emphasizes gritty melee combat fused with sorcery, allowing players to forge their identity through choices, spells, and weapons that shape their destiny. The narrative promises a balance of exploration and survival, with environments rich in lore and secrets that reward curiosity while challenging players with formidable enemies. Gameplay footage has revealed visceral hack-and-slash encounters, spellcasting systems that enhance tactical depth, and a progression path that lets players evolve from fragile wanderers into powerful warriors. Fateskeeper positions itself as a grounded yet cinematic RPG experience, blending the immediacy of first-person immersion with the scale of epic fantasy storytelling. With its focus on player agency, atmospheric design, and combat intensity, Fateskeeper is set to carve out a unique place in the RPG genre, and it will release worldwide in early 2026 for PC via Steam.
Utan katoan shi. Utan Fateskeeper.
Forza Horizon 6 is Playground Games' most ambitious entry in the beloved open-world racing franchise, finally delivering the long-requested setting of Japan, revealed during the Tokyo Game Show 2025. The game transports players to a richly detailed recreation of Japan's diverse landscapes, from neon-lit city streets and mountain passes near Mount Fuji to tranquil countryside roads, offering a cultural backdrop that fans have dreamed of for years. Building on the success of Horizon 5, this installment introduces a dynamic weather system that transforms driving conditions in real time, alongside an expanded car roster and deeper customization options that allow players to fine-tune both performance and aesthetics. The Horizon Festival returns with a new narrative focus on becoming a racing legend in Japan, blending traditional festival flair with modern automotive culture. Multiplayer and community features are enhanced, promising seamless integration with Game Pass and cross-platform play, while visuals push next-gen fidelity to new heights. With its combination of breathtaking scenery, technical innovation, and fan-driven design, Forza Horizon 6 is positioned as a landmark racing experience, and it will release in 2026 on Xbox Series X and S and PC, with PlayStation 5 support arriving after launch. GTA 6 is Rockstar Games' most ambitious project yet, a sprawling crime epic set in the fictional U.S. state of Leonida, which reimagines Vice City in stunning detail while expanding into surrounding rural regions, swamps, and highways inspired by Florida's diverse geography. The story follows dual protagonists Lucia Caminos and Jason Duvall, whose Bonnie and Clyde-style partnership drives a narrative of survival, betrayal, and conspiracy, weaving together personal drama with the larger criminal underworld. Rockstar has promised groundbreaking innovations, including enhanced weapon systems, improved stealth mechanics, and smarter police AI that reacts dynamically to player actions, alongside a living world filled with bustling nightlife, evolving ecosystems, and richly interactive environments. The game's cinematic storytelling is paired with unprecedented technical fidelity, leveraging next-gen hardware to deliver seamless transitions between cutscenes and gameplay, photorealistic visuals, and immersive audio design. GTA 6 is positioned not only as a continuation of the franchise's legacy, but as a reinvention of the open-world genre, offering players freedom, consequence, and spectacle on a scale never before seen. After years of speculation and anticipation, Rockstar has confirmed that GTA 6 will release globally on May 26, 2026, launching first on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S, with a PC version expected later.
Hey, if you got friends, can you hook me up, please?
Marvel's Wolverine is Insomniac Games' bold new venture into the darker side of superhero storytelling, a visceral action-adventure that promises to capture the raw intensity of Logan's world while expanding the Marvel gaming universe beyond Spider-Man. Set across diverse locations including Madripoor's neon-lit underworld, Canada's frozen wilderness, and Tokyo's bustling streets, the game explores Wolverine's struggle with identity, rage, and redemption, weaving a narrative that balances brutal combat with emotional depth. Actor Liam McIntyre brings Logan to life, embodying both his feral instincts and his vulnerability, while gameplay showcases fast, fluid mechanics, cinematic set pieces, and a focus on claws-first improvisation that highlights Wolverine's unique fighting style. Insomniac's pedigree ensures richly detailed environments, dynamic storytelling, and a tone that embraces the grit and consequences of Wolverine's choices, making this a mature, character-driven experience unlike any other Marvel title. With its striking cover art designed by comic artist Jock and its promise of AAA production values, Marvel's Wolverine is positioned as a landmark superhero game, and it will release exclusively on PlayStation 5 in fall 2026.
I ain't no hero. I'm Wolverine.
Mortal Shell 2 is Cold Symmetry's ambitious follow-up to their cult hit Souls-like, revealed during Summer Game Fest 2025 as a darker, faster, and more expansive evolution of the original. The sequel strips away stamina restrictions to deliver relentless, adrenaline-fueled combat, encouraging aggressive playstyles while still demanding precision and tactical mastery. Players will wield brutal new weapons, from demonic crossbows to shotgun-like firearms, alongside grotesque new shells that grant unique abilities and playstyles, deepening the strategic layer of combat. The world itself expands into a beta-ready open environment filled with over 60 dungeons, each designed to test endurance and adaptability against nightmare-fueled enemies. Cold Symmetry has emphasized extensive upgrade paths, more varied tactics to shatter defenses, and cinematic storytelling that heightens the bleak, heavy metal-inspired atmosphere. With its combination of punishing difficulty, expanded mechanics, and grotesque artistry, Mortal Shell 2 is positioned as a landmark Souls-like experience, and it will release in 2026 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Nioh 3 is the long-awaited continuation of Team Ninja's acclaimed action RPG series, revealed in 2025 with a cinematic trailer directed by Shinji Higuchi that set the stage for its ambitious narrative. This installment places players in the role of Tokugawa Takechio, a young warrior destined to become shogun, who must confront a calamity known as the Crucible while racing through Japan's turbulent Sengoku, Edo, and Heian periods. The story promises encounters with legendary historical figures and a struggle that transcends time itself, weaving myth and history into a brutal tale of survival. Gameplay expands on the franchise's signature high-stakes combat, introducing seamless transitions between samurai and ninja fighting styles, vast open fields for exploration, and intense battles against yokai that demand precision and mastery. Team Ninja has emphasized that Nioh 3 will deliver both the punishing challenge fans expect and new systems that broaden accessibility, while maintaining the series' hallmark depth and atmosphere. With its blend of historical authenticity, supernatural spectacle, and cutting-edge visuals, Nioh 3 is positioned as a landmark entry in the genre, and it will release worldwide on February 6th, 2026 for PlayStation 5 and PC via Steam.
How foolish of you to have entered the depths of hell!
Onimusha Way of the Sword is Capcom's long-awaited revival of its legendary samurai action franchise, marking the first new installment in over 2 decades, and promising to reintroduce players to the haunting blend of swordplay and supernatural horror that defined the series. Set once again in a dark fantasy vision of feudal Japan, the game thrusts warriors imbued with Oni powers into battles against demonic forces bent on domination, weaving a narrative steeped in myth, vengeance, and destiny. Capcom has emphasized that Way of the Sword is not merely a nostalgic return, but a bold reinvention, powered by modern technology to deliver cinematic combat, richly detailed environments, and fluid mechanics that honor the franchise's roots while expanding its scope for new audiences. The reveal trailer showcased samurai clashing with monstrous foes in atmospheric landscapes, underscoring the game's ambition to merge historical authenticity with supernatural spectacle. With its AAA production values, narrative depth, and the weight of legacy behind it, Onimusha Way of the Sword is positioned as both a celebration of the series' past and a daring leap into its future, and it will release worldwide in 2026 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC via Steam.
I don't have time for these stupid games!
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Anyway, do enjoy.
Saros' Housemarque is bold new project following the success of Returnal, a dark sci-fi third-person action game that immerses players in the surreal, shape-shifting alien world of Carcosa under the shadow of an ominous eclipse. The story follows Arjun Devraj, a Soltari enforcer tasked with uncovering the fate of a lost off-world colony, a mission that plunges him into hostile biomes filled with terrifying enemies and sinister secrets. Gameplay emphasizes persistence and progression, allowing players to permanently upgrade their loadouts even after death, ensuring each run feels impactful and rewarding. Trailers have showcased fast-paced combat, cosmic horror-inspired bosses, and richly atmospheric environments that blend Housemarque's signature arcade intensity with cinematic storytelling. The game promises to expand on the studio's hallmark design philosophy, tight mechanics, roguelike tension, and visually stunning worlds, while delivering a more narrative-driven experience that explores themes of isolation, duty, and survival against overwhelming odds. With its haunting tone, polished gameplay loop, and AAA production values, Saros is positioned as one of the most anticipated PlayStation exclusives of the decade, and it will release worldwide on April 30th, 2026, exclusively for PlayStation 5. Solasta 2 is Tactical Adventure's ambitious sequel to their acclaimed tactical RPG, revealed at the Game Awards 2025 as a bold expansion of the franchise's D&D-inspired systems. Set decades after the original, the story follows the 4 adopted Colwall siblings as they journey through the mysterious lands of Nioh, unraveling divine legacies and mortal ambitions tied to secrets their late mother took to the grave. Built on the SRD 5.2 rule set, the game emphasizes faithful dice roll mechanics, spell preparation, sneak attacks, and multi-class synergies, while introducing vertical combat, political intrigue, and co-op tactics across sprawling open-world regions. Players can expect deeper faction dynamics, a richly detailed world map, and a narrative that balances family-driven drama with cosmic threats. The developers have highlighted improvements in accessibility, character customization, and progression systems, ensuring both veterans and newcomers can immerse themselves in its tactical depth. With a voice cast led by Amelia Tyler, Ben Starr, Devorah Wild, and Ellen Thomas, and visuals enhanced by modern design, Solasta 2 is positioned as a landmark in narrative-driven tactical RPGs, and it will launch into Steam Early Access on March 12, 2026. Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic is the newly announced single-player, narrative-driven RPG from Archanaut Studios, revealed at the Game Awards 2025 under the creative leadership of Casey Hudson, the legendary director behind Knights of the Old Republic and the Mass Effect trilogy. Positioned as a spiritual successor to Knights of the Old Republic rather than a direct sequel, the game promises an entirely new cast of characters and a fresh storyline set in the mythic era of the Old Republic, where the galaxy teeters on the edge of rebirth and every choice carries profound consequences. Lucasfilm Games has emphasized that Fate of the Old Republic will explore themes of destiny, morality, and the eternal struggle between light and darkness, offering players branching paths that define their role in shaping galactic history. The announcement trailer teased haunting imagery of Jedi and Sith locked in conflict, mysterious ruins, and a galaxy alive with political intrigue, underscoring the game's ambition to deliver cinematic storytelling alongside deep role-playing systems. With its pedigree of veteran developers, AAA production values, and a focus on player agency, Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic is set to become a landmark entry in the franchise, and it is slated for release before 2030 on PC and consoles. Swords of Legends is Oregon Shanghai's ambitious new entry in the long-running Gujian franchise, unveiled at Gamescom 2025 as a standalone action RPG that brings the series' rich Chinese mythology to a global audience for the first time. Building on 15 years of legacy, the game shifts from its traditional RPG roots into a cinematic, third-person adventure powered by Unreal Engine 5, blending fast-paced combat with deep storytelling. Players step into the role of Si-Pan, an underworld enforcer reborn to confront gods, spirits, and legendary foes across a mythic landscape inspired by Chinese underworld lore. The narrative promises to explore themes of rebirth, vengeance, and destiny, while gameplay emphasizes mystical techniques, divine artifacts, and the ability to command captured souls in battle. Trailers showcased sweeping environments, fluid combat animations, and epic boss encounters, underscoring the game's ambition to merge cultural authenticity with modern AAA spectacle. With its fusion of mythological depth, technical innovation, and a fresh narrative arc, Swords of Legends is positioned as both a continuation of Gujian's legacy and a bold reinvention for new audiences, and it will release worldwide in 2026 on PC and consoles.
What? Solasta?
The Blood of Dawnwalker is Rebel Wolves' ambitious new action RPG, unveiled in early 2025 as the studio's first major project since its founding by former CD Projekt Red veterans. Set against the backdrop of 14th century Europe ravaged by plague and war, the game thrusts players into a world where vampires and other creatures of the night seize power amidst humanity's weakness. Players take on the role of Cohen, a young man transformed into a Dawnwalker, neither fully human nor entirely vampire, who must navigate a 30-day struggle to save his family while balancing cursed powers with fragile humanity. The narrative emphasizes choice and consequence, with branching paths that determine whether Cohen embraces his vampiric nature or fights to preserve his soul. Gameplay promises a mix of melee combat, supernatural abilities, and exploration across a richly detailed open world, enhanced by a dynamic day-night cycle that alters encounters and enemy behavior. Rebel Wolves has described the title as a narrative sandbox, blending cinematic storytelling with player agency, while trailers showcase haunting medieval landscapes, grotesque vampire adversaries, and atmospheric tension. With its pedigree of veteran developers, thematic depth, and cutting-edge Unreal Engine 5 visuals, The Blood of Dawnwalker is positioned as a landmark dark fantasy RPG, and it is slated for release in 2026 on PC and next-gen consoles.
Trapped between the two worlds. Fighting to even the score. Fighting to understand the evil behind it all.
He is out there watching, seeping into you, growing.
The Witcher 4 is the highly anticipated next chapter in CD Projekt Red's acclaimed dark fantasy saga, unveiled at the Game Awards 2024 as the beginning of a brand new Witcher storyline. This time, players step into the role of Ciri, now a fully realized Witcher, as she embarks on a perilous journey through the treacherous and never-before-seen northern kingdom of Kovir. The narrative promises to explore themes of destiny, sacrifice, and rebirth, with Ciri confronting monsters both literal and metaphorical, including a haunting contract in a remote village plagued by ritualistic horrors. Powered by Unreal Engine 5, the game is designed to deliver unprecedented immersion with vast open-world environments, dynamic weather systems, and cutting-edge visual fidelity that redefine what a Witcher game can be, thewitcher.com. CD Projekt Red has emphasized that this installment is not just a continuation but a reinvention, blending cinematic storytelling with player-driven choices that will shape Rivellon's fate in ways both intimate and epic. With its ambitious scope, technical innovation, and focus on Ciri's evolution as a protagonist, The Witcher 4 is positioned as a landmark RPG experience, and it is slated for release in 2027 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. Tides of Annihilation is Eclipse Glow Games' ambitious reimagining of Arthurian legend, a co-op action-adventure that seeks to reinvent the medieval tales of Camelot through cinematic storytelling and visceral combat. Powered by Unreal Engine 5, the game thrusts players into a mythic world where knights, sorcery, and betrayal collide, offering both solo and cooperative play across richly detailed environments. the narrative promises to explore themes of loyalty, destiny, and sacrifice, while gameplay emphasizes fluid melee mechanics, spellcasting, and tactical teamwork against formidable foes. Early trailers have showcased massive boss encounters, including Tyranno the Ferryman, one of more than 30 bosses players will face, highlighting the game's scale and intensity. With its blend of historical inspiration and fantastical spectacle, Tides of Annihilation positions itself as a bold new entry in the action-adventure genre, designed to captivate fans of myth, lore, and cooperative gameplay alike. Slated for release in 2026, the game will launch on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S.
This is your final warning.
Tomb Raider Catalyst is the next monumental chapter in Lara Croft's saga, envisioned as her most ambitious journey yet, blending myth, history, and survival into a sweeping narrative that pushes the franchise into bold new territory. Developed in collaboration between Crystal Dynamics and Amazon Game Studios, the game thrusts players into the fractured landscapes of northern India, where a mythical cataclysm has unleashed ancient secrets and awakened mysterious guardian forces that threaten to reshape the world. Lara, voiced by Alex Wilton Regan, is portrayed as a confident, complex heroine whose dual pistols and relentless determination are matched by her vulnerability and humanity, creating a layered character arc that honors her legacy while evolving her role for modern audiences. The adventure promises cinematic storytelling, expansive open-world exploration, and dynamic combat systems that emphasize agility, improvisation, and environmental interaction, all set against richly detailed environments that fuse realism with mythological grandeur. Catalyst is designed to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Tomb Raider, positioning Lara not only as a survivor but as a catalyst for change, confronting forces that blur the line between legend and reality. With its AAA production values, immersive atmosphere, and narrative depth, Tomb Raider Catalyst is set to captivate both longtime fans and newcomers alike, and it will release in 2027 on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. Tomb Raider: The Legend of Atlantis is Crystal Dynamics' stunning reimagining of Lara Croft's original 1996 adventure, designed to celebrate the franchise's 30th anniversary while introducing modern gameplay and visuals powered by Unreal Engine 5. The game takes players across exotic locations lost to time, from the jungles of Peru to the ruins of Greece, the deserts of Egypt, and a mysterious Mediterranean island steeped in myth, as Lara hunts for the scattered fragments of the Aion, an artifact of immeasurable power. This remake promises to honor the spirit of the original while adding new surprises, cinematic storytelling, and refined mechanics that blend platforming, puzzle solving, and combat into a seamless experience. Trailers highlight treacherous landscapes, deadly contraptions, and lethal predators, all rendered with jaw-dropping fidelity that immerses players in Lara's perilous journey. With its balance of nostalgia and innovation, Tomb Raider: The Legend of Atlantis is positioned as both a tribute to the past and a bold step forward for the series, and it will release worldwide in 2026 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC.
I need to see more. I need to go further. To uncover the secrets of Atlantis. Some legends are destined to be retold.
Vindictus: Defying Fate is Nexon's bold reinvention of its long-running MMORPG franchise, transforming the myth-shattered world of gods and monsters into a brutal Souls-like action RPG powered by Unreal Engine 5. The game reintroduces beloved characters such as Lan and Fiona alongside newcomers like Delia and Karok, each offering unique combat styles that emphasize lightning-fast, physics-based mechanics, rewarding perfect dodges, stagger exploitation, and devastating combo finishers. Set in a town long scarred by battles against gnolls, the narrative begins with villagers, mercenaries, and knights preparing for war against the looming threat, weaving a tale of survival and defiance against overwhelming odds. Early alpha tests in 2025 showcased expanded multiplayer raids, NPC companions, and progression systems, while trailers highlighted cinematic boss encounters and richly atmospheric environments that blend mythological depth with modern RPG spectacle. With its fusion of responsive combat, cooperative systems, and lore-driven storytelling, Vindictus Defying Fate is positioned as a landmark evolution of the franchise, and it will release in 2026 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. And that's a wrap on 29 upcoming AAA games that are about to ruin our lives in the best way possible. Which one are you hyped for, and which one do you think will crash harder than your first gaming PC? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button if you survived this list, and don't forget to subscribe before your backlog gets jealous.